For the next 6 months to a year, Attorney Gibbs and I are traveling around the country conducting bus conventions and seminars. He will speak on keeping our buses and our ministries in order, and I will speak on accelerating what we've been doing to perpetuate the bus ministry across America. We're not mean. We're not mad at anybody. We are indignant, righteously indignant, because we have been misrepresented. And this gathering today, the like of which no one could assemble other than these men right here, the like of which America's never seen before on this order, signifies the fact that we will not curtail or stop the bus ministry.
One of the men that has stood valiantly and with distinction in recent days for the integrity of the bus ministry is Pastor Wininger from Grass Lake, Michigan. I want two things clearly understood. As a group of people, we are appalled to the very quick of our hearts and souls at the innuendo or the thought that we would either cover up or that we would in any respect encourage improper conduct towards a child. Our churches cooperate with the authorities. And I want everyone to understand clearly the pastor that you're about to hear has been a man who has cooperated with the authorities. But he's a man whose church was literally put under assault with accusation. His church for 25 years has had a bus ministry that reached out to the community. These buses are operated with great sacrifice. Our churches don't take one dime of government money. Not one dime. Not for this ministry or any other ministry for that matter. But through the sacrificial giving of the members and the people, they go out and bring in those who could never otherwise come. Suddenly, accusations were made. This is a pastor who acted, in my opinion, with great circumspect and wisdom in that hour. He's a man who said, I will investigate, I will surely check, but if I believe that someone is unjustly accused, I will also be ready to say that. This is a man of integrity. Isn't it interesting that when all of this happened and people went by and took firearms and shot up their church buses, when people used violence against the church, scarcely anyone heard of that. I want you to welcome Pastor Wininger, pastor of the North Sharon Baptist Church, please.
Thank you. Thank you. For 25 years, our church has reached children with the bus ministry. I've been pastor at North Sharon for 6 years. I watched my people take money out of their pockets and buy shoes for boys and girls. I've watched our people sacrifice to keep the buses on the road, to go and get children, bring them to Sunday school so they could hear the gospel. 1992 was a record year in our church. We saw more people saved. We watched our church grow. Phenomenal year. Best year in the church's history. Until August. And then an unbelievable nightmare began. I pray that it never happens to anybody in this room. But I'm also here to say it can happen to you. There's not a person in my church who would not be appalled at doing anything harmful to a child. And I believe your churches are the same way. But I also want to say, it saddens me and it breaks my heart to hear anybody even suggest that a Baptist church is a cult. I wish everybody could see our people. I wish they could see the men and the women who go out on Saturdays and not just sacrifice their money, but go out on Saturday and sacrifice their time and spend their days on Saturdays inviting boys and girls to come to Sunday school. And then get up early on Sunday morning and get a bus and head down where there's underprivileged children and pick them up and bring them to Sunday school so they can sit and hear a Sunday school teacher say, "I love you." It's misunderstood. But I want to say our motive, we only have one motive, and that is we love these kids because the Lord Jesus Christ loved us first. So fellas, I want to say, we were running 6 buses when this thing first happened. We dropped down to 2, but I'm glad to report we started our 3rd one back up last Sunday. And we're not going to quit. Thank you.
God was good to us. God was good to us when he called Attorney David Gibbs. Somebody said, is David Gibbs given to your defense? No, he's given to the defense of right and freedom. And since this cause of the bus ministry is one of our freedoms, and it is right, David Gibbs is rising to our defense. Thank God for the Christian Law Association. I call it our 911 number. And thank God for David Gibbs, a true friend, a loyal patriot, and an old-fashioned born-again believer. Dr. Gibbs.
Thank you. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate your graciousness. This is a moment that I count a great honor. I believe any time that someone can rise in their life to stand for which they fervently believe in and they fervently know is true, that it's an honor to do so. We are here today, I want you to understand, not just to defend Dr. Jack Hyles and the ministry of the First Baptist Church. We're here today not just to defend the wonderful ministry and the outreach of the Hyles Anderson College, nor have we called here today to rally in defense of Brother Wininger and the North Sharon Baptist Church. We're here today to rally to the defense of ministries that reach out to children. These men are not the issue. They've been confronted with the issue. This is an issue that addresses every single church in America. Every church that with compassion says, we want to reach those that are unfortunate and disadvantaged. We want to reach children that no one cares about. Those are the churches we're here today for. You see, we've seen these types of smears and allegations and charges nationwide. California, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Colorado, Utah, Florida, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Iowa, Florida, North and South Carolina, Georgia, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas. Those are just the ones that come to mind as I stand here. For you see, what's happened in our nation is suddenly anyone who wants to reach kids for the pure reason that you care is suddenly suspect. Why would anyone want to bring kids in who have no money to give you? Why would anyone care to go out and inconvenience themselves by reaching those that no one else wants to reach? There's a reason. It's called compassion. It's called wanting to reach those who the very Son of God died to reach. We're here today to make sure that everyone understands we intend to redouble our efforts. We're here today to say that as never before, we're going to cast a focus of intensity to reach those that no one else cares about. I could not agree more with the statement. What so many others are talking about, our churches are doing. Reaching those that need Christ. Please understand, this battle's gone on for a long time. It's accidental but terribly fitting that we're in Chicago, the home of the great evangelist D.L. Moody, a man who 100 years ago had a vision for Sunday school. And his vision for Sunday school and church was not to reach out and reach the wealthy or those who could come on their own. Moody's vision for Sunday school was to reach all of the kids that no one else wanted. Read the biographies and the autobiography. Moody was a man that was soundly criticized. The very same types of accusations that are being leveled against the churches that want to reach those that no one else wants today were the same allegations they raised against Moody. Thank God 100 years ago, Moody didn't quit. Thank God 100 years ago, while they didn't know of buses, he knew of horses and wagons. He went out and got the kids and brought them in. While the means of getting them have changed, the heart has not changed. We're here today to carry that on. We are here right now because nationwide they're trying to make every church that has a bus ministry, every church that wants to reach out, they're trying to make that look as a suspicious activity. A community has no greater friend than a Bible-believing church that wants to reach out and touch the lives of children. We want to reach them before they're all locked up in those jails, change their lives so that we keep them from that activity. Now, please don't leave here today with the thought that this is to defend any given man. You would be sadly mistaken, I give you my word. Don't leave here today with the idea that this was just done to show the folks who spoke up. This is done because there is a cause. And literally, we believe with all our hearts that the fate of thousands upon thousands of hundreds of thousands of people are going to be decided on how we respond to this cause. We're here today to ask you to resharpen your intensity of focus, to come back to realizing that with compassion we can make a difference. The joy of my life is to stand with churches. The joy of my life is to defend the faith. I have never been involved in a greater defense of the faith that I'm involved in today. God bless you.